So let me tell you about this really chilling story out of Mumbai. It's about a young couple, Rashmi and Aditya. I mean, these two had it all. A great relationship, awesome careers, and this dream apartment on the 28th floor. They were literally on top of the world. But, as they were about to find out, they weren't the only ones up there.
One night. That's all it took to turn their perfect world completely upside down. It was a night that would completely shatter their sense of what was real, their peace of mind, everything they thought they knew. So let's get into what actually happened. Okay, so first, let's just set the scene a little bit. Before all the weirdness started, Rashmi and Aditya's life was, well, it was perfect. Seriously, they'd been together for a long time, were living in this amazing place in Mumbai, and just enjoying this great lifestyle with a ton of friends. Their home was kind of central to all of this, but it was about to become the main character in their own personal nightmare. So let's talk about the apartment itself. They're on the 28th floor, the penthouse, the very top of the building. And for 4 years, everything was totally normal, no problems at all. They had this incredible rooftop terrace with a pool, which was basically their own private party spot. Now here's a detail you're going to want to remember. The walk-in wardrobe. A whole room just lined with big mirrors. Yeah, that innocent-looking room was about to become ground zero for all the terror. So the whole thing kicks off, like so many creepy stories do, late at night during a party. They've got friends over, they're having a pool party up on the terrace, everybody's drinking, having a fantastic time, and they have absolutely no idea that this night is the beginning of the end for their normal life.
All right, let's break this timeline down because it's just bizarre. It's 2 in the morning, everyone is wasted. Suddenly, Aditya's phone starts ringing over and over. He's kind of out of it, so Rashmi grabs it and puts it on speaker, and what she hears is just deeply unsettling. It's the faint sound of a little kid crying. Then, just as she's trying to figure out who it is, the phone dies. But here's the real kicker. Later, when she charges it and turns it back on, there is no record of that call. Nothing. The call log from that time is totally blank. It's like it just never happened.
And through the crying, this is the one phrase Rashmi could make out, clear as day. A little voice asking, "Mom, where are you?" Just imagine that. It's 2 a.m., you get this call from an unknown number that then just vanishes into thin air. It was confusing, it was really strange, and honestly, it was pretty chilling.
So, the next morning, Rashmi tells everyone what she heard, and they just laugh it off. You know, they were all drunk, right? Must have been a weird dream, a hallucination. And even Rashmi starts to think, okay, maybe they're right. But Aditya, he remembers the phone ringing. He knows that part was real. And deep down, he can't shake the feeling that something weird happened, even if he can't explain it. And that little disagreement, that was the first crack in their reality.
So after that night, the strange things didn't stop. But here's the thing. They didn't happen to just anyone. It was like the presence, whatever it was, chose a specific target. And that target was Aditya. What started as just a weird phone call was about to ramp up into a full-blown psychological haunting.
And this is where it gets really personal. Aditya starts hearing a little girl's laughter. It's so clear he can even hear it over the music blasting in his headphones. But when he asks Rashmi to listen, she just hears nothing. She starts getting really annoyed, thinking he's just messing with her, trying to scare her. And that's the truly terrifying part, right? Aditya is going through this completely alone, and the one person he needs to believe him just thinks he's losing it.
And then, it's not just sounds anymore. Aditya is home by himself when he actually sees it. Just this fleeting glimpse of a little girl running down the hall and straight into that walk-in robes room. And the second she's inside, the door slams shut, just like that. So now he's not just hearing things anymore, he's seeing them.
And this is where it gets personal. Aditya is frozen in the hallway, just staring at that closed door. And he hears a little girl's voice call out from inside. But she doesn't just make a sound. She calls him Papa. Papa, come inside. So this isn't some random spirit. This thing seems to know him, and it's inviting him into the room.
Just as Aditya is trying to process this terrifying invitation, Rashmi gets home. She'd forgotten her phone. She walks in to find him looking pale, completely terrified. And in that very moment, the haunting just explodes from this private personal experience into a violent shared nightmare for both of them.
Everything happens so fast. It's pure chaos. As Aditya is pointing Rashmi toward the wardrobe, the lights in the hallway just go crazy, flickering like a strobe light. A light bulb explodes. Then, Aditya just collapses, out cold. Rashmi rushes over to him, but when he wakes up, it's not Aditya. His eyes are blood red, and his grip on her hand is just inhumanly strong. He is not himself anymore.
And then comes the line that changes everything. From Aditya's mouth, but in the voice of a little girl, comes this horrifying accusation aimed directly at Rashmi. "You killed me, didn't you, Mom? Why did you kill me?" Can you imagine? Rashmi is in total shock. Her possessed boyfriend is accusing her of murder, speaking with the voice of a child she has never, ever met.
Just as Aditya seems to snap back to his senses, the horror just gets worse. Because now, for the first time, they both see her. The spirit of the little girl actually materializes right in front of them. And in an instant, this horrific vision unfolds. Blood suddenly appears and just soaks the lower half of her body. She looks right at both of them, and then, as quickly as she appeared, she just vanishes.
And while she was standing there, covered in blood, she asked her impossible question again, but this time it was to both of them. "Mom, Dad, why did you kill me?" And that was it. That was the undeniable proof. They were terrified beyond belief. They grabbed their keys and just fled the apartment, didn't even bother looking back.
After they ran out of their home, Rashmi and Aditya knew they couldn't go back, not until they understood what on earth was going on. Their sheer terror started to turn into this desperate search for answers. And what they uncovered wasn't just one tragedy, but two separate tragedies, both connected to their apartment. They went to see a spiritual guide, a pundit, who reveals something absolutely shocking. He tells them about a secret that they had told no one. A few months before all this started, Rashmi had had a miscarriage. It happened after a night of really heavy drinking, and she'd been carrying this immense weight of guilt ever since. And all of a sudden, that horrifying vision of the little girl covered in blood, it took on this terrible personal meaning. But that, believe it or not, was only half the story. So they did some more digging and found out about the family who lived in the apartment right before them. And it turns out that family had a young daughter who died in a tragic accident inside that very apartment. She fell and hit her head on a glass table. They moved out pretty soon after because the memories were just too painful.
And here you can really see the two tragedies laid out, side by side. On one hand, you've got Rashmi and Aditya's very recent, very secret loss, which is a source of incredible guilt for them. And on the other, you have the previous tenant's loss of their daughter years ago, a source of incredible sorrow. Two lost children, two grieving families, and this one apartment connecting them both.
So, with both of these pieces of the puzzle in hand, they went to see another expert. And this pundit was finally able to explain the horrifying logic behind their haunting, connecting the two tragedies in a way they'd never ever could have imagined on their own.
Okay, so this is the final explanation they got, and it's called the trigger point theory. So for over 4 years, the spirit of the little girl who died in the apartment was dormant, peaceful, just quiet. But when Rashmi got pregnant, the spirit apparently connected with the energy of that new life. The pundit explained that the sudden tragic energy from the miscarriage acted like a trigger. It activated the dormant spirit and sort of imprinted it with the pain and confusion of this other lost child, which is what caused it to lash out and manifest in such a terrifying way.
So, they managed to track down the girl's original parents and brought them back to the apartment for a final ritual to help her spirit find peace. And during that ceremony, Rashmi saw her one last time. But this time, there was no blood, no anger. The little girl just looked peaceful. She actually smiled at Rashmi, like a silent thank you and goodbye. And then she was just gone, for good.
You know, Rashmi and Aditya still live in that apartment today, and the little girl has never come back. But their story leaves us with this really fascinating and kind of unsettling question. Could really powerful human emotions like grief, guilt, or tragedy act as trigger points? Could they awaken these dormant forces that might be all around us, just waiting for a reason to wake up? It's a chilling thought to end on.